So now we will move on to our reports. This is agenda item 38, reports and presentations. Report by Mr. Arndt, Deputy Director, Department of Economic Urban Development, EUD, on economic development projects and initiatives being undertaken in the city of Las Vegas, all wards.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman, members of City Council. Bill Arndt, Deputy Director, Economic and Urban Development. This report is a report of some of the things that our department has accomplished over the last year, but it's really not just our department. A colleague recently shared with me the phrase, economic development is a team sport, and I really believe that, and I want to thank all my colleagues at the City of Las Vegas, certainly the mayor and the City Council, our senior management team, Jorge, Tom Perigo, and the entire City Manager's Office, but perhaps most importantly, all of our private partners. Without our private partners in the community delivering these great projects, none of what I and my team do at Economic and Urban Development would be possible. So I want to thank them, and I want to thank them in what has been a really difficult year. As we look back, 2020 was really a year like no other. Our team shifted in March at the beginning of the pandemic to really try to focus our efforts on supporting local businesses and small businesses. I had a saying at the start of the pandemic, it's a marathon and a sprint. It's going to be a long recovery, but at the same time, we had to sprint. We had to get out the door quickly to try to help businesses. And we believe that we did that. We did that with helping businesses with, early on in the pandemic, securing their storefronts through our business protection program, which helped not only secure the businesses throughout our downtown area, particularly the 18B Arts District, but it also helped beautify the area. We helped 1,500 small businesses with business preparedness grants, not just in downtown, but throughout the city, with helping with their reopening expenses so that they could reopen safely. We focused on ensuring all of our projects that were under development continue to stay in development and saw through their development through completion. Then finally, we remain committed to focusing on catalytic projects, large projects in our downtown area that will really help change the landscape of our downtown, our greater downtown, and all the neighborhoods surrounding downtown to help move the city of Las Vegas forward. So what did this look like? This was early on in the pandemic, and you see here the business protection program. The storefronts were closed, but we wanted to beautify the area, so we helped with the storefronts. A lot of those signs were repurposed later on with a showing from our Downtown Vegas Alliance partner, and we appreciate all the businesses that participated in that program. But most importantly, we saw a lot of project completions in 2020. We saw the Circa completed, great new hotel casino, really changing the landscape of downtown Las Vegas. I had a hard time finding an image to capture the size of this facility. It's the highest hotel casino tower in downtown. But I want to thank Derek Stevens and his entire team for delivering a great project and staying committed to downtown in spite of all the challenges that he and his team faced this past year. Likewise, the Expo at World Market Center completed. With over 315,000 square feet of space, the Expo at World Market Center Las Vegas provides much needed event space for our downtown community and is hosting trade shows, corporate events, concerts, banquets, and other training sessions as well. This is much needed convention space and is going to help with visitation in downtown. We know that visitation has been stalled for all the obvious reasons, but when we come back, we're going to come roaring back. I've heard it said that we're going to come back like the roaring 20s. I think it may have been roaring even louder once we do come back. Downtown Grand. Downtown Grand, opened by the CIM Group under partnership with the City of Las Vegas, opened its gallery tower, 495 new rooms, and the third tower at the Downtown Grand campus. Again, showing the confidence that our private sector and our private partners have in investing in our city and in our downtown in spite of the challenges with visitation. We finished the Valley Hospital and the ER expansion. This was made possible in part by an allocation of New Markets tax credits from the Las Vegas Community Investment Corporation, which is an affiliate nonprofit of the City of Las Vegas, and we invested nearly $15.9 million in tax credits to help Valley Hospital expand their emergency department. And what a great time to do it in the middle of the pandemic, opening all those extra beds when those beds were needed the most. So I want to thank the entire team at Valley Hospital for delivering a great project. We also invested in a project actually outside our borders, but a project, again, very timely investment to help with 3 Square and helping its campus expand at its main campus on the East Campus. And this was made possible by an allocation of $11 million of New Markets tax credits, also from the city's Las Vegas Community Investment Corporation, helping to expand programs, particularly programs for seniors during a time when our community really needed them the most. And I want to thank our partner at 3 Square for continuing to do all that they do, and how important were they this past year in providing services for our entire community. We continue to see the interest for downtown housing. Share Downtown, developed by Cherry Development, Sam Cherry, 63 units in our 18B Arts District. You see here a completed project and a great project. And we think that we're going to see a lot more of housing like this, not just in downtown, but all of the neighborhoods surrounding downtown. There's such a pent-up demand for housing downtown. We actually commissioned a study from a national consultant that shows we should be adding additional units each year in the 1,000+ range. And we really want to see more units come online. And so we're thankful for Cherry Development delivering a great project. We saw Area 15 open. Maybe one of the best kept secrets, now not a best kept secret, but home to Meow Wolf and a lot of creative arts and entertainment. And they are open for business and have since announced an expansion and a planned phase 2 for the project. The aforementioned agenda item talked about the Las Vegas Municipal Courthouse. I want to thank the Mulaski companies, Rich Worthington and his team, also Martin Harris, who are delivering a great new beautiful Las Vegas Municipal Courthouse, which will help our municipal court system expand over time, and it's going to be a great addition to downtown. There are a lot of projects under development. We have the UNLV School of Medicine, which is developing its medical education building in the heart of our medical district on Shadow Lane. And that project is going vertical, and you see here construction is taking place rapidly. And this is really exciting. This is really going to redefine that entire area, having a 4-year allopathic school of medicine, all the students, all the physicians, the teachers. That is really changing and transforming that neighborhood as we build out the medical district as an academic center of healthcare. Our courtyard was completed also with support from our office, but really want to thank the blood, sweat, and tears of Kathy Thomas and the entire community services team. Without their passion and vision, this project would not be a reality. Our office played a small role in helping with the New Markets tax credits, and we invested just under $26 million in allocation of federal New Market tax credits to help make this project a reality, helping to fund the construction while we look for support from the community to fund long-term operations, but a much-needed resource in our community. And really want to, again, thank the entire team at Community Services for, as well as our Public Works team who's overseeing the construction. Wardelle Strong Start Academy in East Las Vegas. This was made possible again by an allocation from our New Markets tax credits program.
Mr. Arndt, I apologize for interrupting, but I just had to step away from a call with my mom's doctor.
Oh, certainly.
I just want to ask our clerk, Luann, to make sure that on the record, it shows that I'm very supportive and voted yay on Mr. Mulaski's street name.
Will do, thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, thank you,
Mr.
Councilwoman.
Arndt.
And so this Wardelle Strong Start Academy was made possible by our New Market Tax Credit Program, $11 million. Want to thank Dr. Malich of YDSI Youth Development and Social Innovation and her team who've helped make this project possible. Early childhood learning is more important than ever as we went to remote learning. And now as we're getting kids back in the classroom, facilities like this are much needed throughout our community. And I want to thank and commend the city's leadership for supporting early childhood learning in our community. We have a lot of construction going on in Symphony Park. You see here Auric by Southern Lands, which is a Class A apartment building, 320 units of new housing in Symphony Park. You could not pick a better location, in my opinion, than right at the doorstep of the Smith Center for the Performing Arts in the heart of our community in the new living room of downtown. This is a great project being developed by Southern Land, a developer out of Nashville, Tennessee, who's been a wonderful partner to work with. And they're on track to deliver the units by late spring of this year. And we're already seeing a lot of demand for those units. A similar project is right next door. It's being developed by Aspen Heights, a developer based in Austin, Texas. Similar size project, 290 units, also Class A housing, provided much needed market housing for all of the workers in downtown, but also folks that want to live downtown. And so adding additional units in downtown. You see here the progress, and they're also looking at a spring delivery for units. Southern Land, the developer of Nashville, also is planning a high-rise and mid-rise development. This development is actually coming before you at an upcoming planning commission on March 9th. So this is a preview of what the Planning Commission is going to be looking at, and ultimately the council, for a project at the front door of Symphony Park along the perimeter by Grand Central Parkway. This is a project which in total will be 480 units of new housing, including the high-rise, which now is planned for 20 stories. So again, changing the landscape, redefining the landscape of downtown. They are planning for a March 2022 construction start, and we're really excited about this project. Marriott AC Hotel by Jackson Shaw, that is still under development, and we've recently received an update from our development partner, Jackson Shaw. They remain excited about this project and are under contract with the city to start later this year in 2021. This is a rendering here that you see of the project. It would be a Marriott flag hotel, Marriott AC Hotel, and again, showing the demand for visitation downtown. In spite of the pandemic, this project is moving forward, and there are very few hotel projects, not just locally, but nationally, could say that. That shows the business confidence and investor confidence in Las Vegas and downtown Las Vegas coming back and coming back strong. This is a schematic showing a development plan for Cashman. We're under contract with the Renaissance companies to do a phased development. You see here the area shaded in gray, which is the land immediately west of or in front of the existing Cashman complex, which includes the stadium and the former convention center. As everyone knows, we've been using this facility for our community to help with the COVID pandemic, and will continue to do so for the remainder of the calendar year. However, there are long-term plans to develop this property over time. We're in negotiations with our developers, so we have nothing final to announce, but the initial phase plans to use 17 acres of the campus's 50 acres for a first phase of development, and we're looking forward to bringing plans forward to you as that project progresses. Two final things. I wanted to talk about small business openings, because I really want to thank the entire business community in Las Vegas, as well as the downtown business community, for remaining committed to the city of Las Vegas. This is a list of all the small business openings and expansions that happened just in our downtown area. This is not citywide. If I expanded it to citywide, it would be a much longer list. But you see here a lot of new great venues, Letty's Cocina, you see Vegas Test Kitchen, Good Pie in the Arts District. A lot of new venues, particularly food and beverage venues, have opened up in our downtown in spite of the pandemic. And so we're committed to trying to support those businesses as we relaunch and reopen and some of the occupancy restrictions lift over time. How can we support those businesses moving forward? We're seeing a Brewery District emerge in our Arts District, which is really a subset of the Arts District. These venues are new venues that were under development or completed just this past year. This does not list all the other venues that were already opening, but you see here the new venues, and you see here at the bottom, Nevada H&C Distilling Company was actually approved on your consent agenda as item number 25, and they're moving forward with a development plan. That's a concept plan to build a new distillery. And I was speaking with the owner, Jonathan Hensley, this morning after the consent agenda. He believes over time, because of their rapid growth, they will employ 100 employees in the company. So again, shows not just where we've been, but where we're headed. A lot of consumer confidence and a lot of business confidence in our downtown. So looking forward, what's next? We've been working on a remote work campaign, not to displace all the workers that are currently here, but realizing as we attract new companies, particularly technology companies and healthcare companies, we need workers to support those companies. And a change has happened in economic development. The talent, the workers used to follow the companies from city to city, but that's kind of been flipped on its head the last few years, and it's only accelerated because of the remote work. Now companies are following talent, and so it's really important for Las Vegas as a community to make sure we have a talented pipeline of workers. We're seeing a lot of workers relocate from neighboring states like California, and so we started a remote work campaign to try to make it a little bit easier to enter the market and get they're situated in Las Vegas. We're not offering cash incentives like a lot of other cities and communities. We really believe we don't need to. They're already coming, so how can we help them get acclimated to our community and also look at all the housing options in our city, including in our downtown area. We're assisting small businesses, not just through the pandemic, but post-pandemic. We're proposing to allocate a portion of our budget, a sizable portion of our budget next year, and looking at retooling some of our incentive programs to stretch those dollars farther, but also look at how can we help businesses directly. Businesses are hurting. We know that. We hear that every day. I know, Mayor, you and the entire council hears that from your constituents. So we're looking at creative ways. How can we help businesses with their reopening and making sure that they have business continuity moving forward? So we're looking to devote some of our budget for next year to do that. We're also exploring creative ways to help with buy local campaigns. How can we encourage Las Vegans throughout the Las Vegas Valley to buy local, to buy from small businesses, not just food and beverage, but also retail? There are two campaigns that have been going. Vegas Chamber has had a Switch to Kindness campaign to encourage a shop local. Downtown Vegas Alliance has also had a Playcation campaign to try to get visitors back to downtown. We don't want to replicate what the private sector is already doing, but what can we as a city do additionally to complement some of those efforts that the private sector is already doing? So we're looking at ways to do that, and there are ways we can do that through technology for fairly low expense, and talking to partners on how we can do that. We're looking at virtual tours. Remote work is not here to stay permanently for 100% of the workforce, but the reality, a lot of businesses that are looking at moving to Las Vegas or other communities are doing their tours virtually rather than flying here and looking at things. So how can we up our presence virtually to market Las Vegas not only as a destination, but market for economic development to companies seeking to relocate? And we're still seeing businesses on a regular basis from California, from Los Angeles, from the Bay Area, from other markets, New York, Chicago, inquire about Las Vegas as a place to do business. And then finally, we have a revolving loan fund program, microloans for small business, that we're in the works of finalizing. It's an EDA grant for a partner of ours, Nevada Business Opportunity Fund, and it's going to be focusing on microloans to small business with an emphasis on disadvantaged business owners that have not had a chance at financing, particularly women-owned business and minority-owned business, as well as veterans. And so we're really excited about that program. We don't have the terms yet to launch, but it's imminent, and we're committed to making that work. We have healthcare, improving healthcare for Las Vegans. We have a genomics company in downtown Las Vegas that has moved into our former library building, Heligenics. They're expanding rapidly. They're taking a second suite at the building, and already we're working with them to build a permanent facility to expand their building. And that's improving healthcare for Las Vegans, and we really think this kind of company you're going to see a lot of as we build out that medical campus with UNLV in our medical district. We're focused to economic diversification. That's one of your 3 strategic objectives. And you see here a rendering of a campus for a business park in the Northwest in Ward 6. As this unfolds, we're going to work very closely with Councilwoman Fiore and the entire council to plan a employment center and a business park for the Northwest Valley. That's one of the last remaining areas of the valley that doesn't have a major employment center. We have great residential neighborhoods. I live not too far from there, but we don't have a lot of employment centers. So how can we build out this area and build it out responsibly for an employment center? We have a section of land, Section 22, which is in the far northwest part of the valley, and we're working on plans with the neighboring property owners to how we can develop this land over time for a major employment center. We still get inquiries all the time for major employment centers, not just of the city of Las Vegas, but requests for the entire region. And there's not a lot of buildable land that's infrastructure ready. So getting this land and similar land in the Northwest infrastructure ready and figuring out a responsible plan for development that's mindful of some of the rural residential neighborhoods out there is what we're working on. We're really excited to move that forward and continue the discussions for an employment center in the Northwest. And then finally, neighborhood revitalization. This is woven into your 3 strategic objectives, but we remain committed to not just our core downtown area where the major employers are, but also all the wonderful neighborhoods that are in the greater downtown area that surround the core of downtown, remaining committed to implementing the 100 plan, working with the entire city team in the historic West Side, the Rafael Rivera Walkable Communities Plan, and working with our city team on new employment and new economic development opportunities there. Our medical district, which I've spoken a lot about already, Maryland Parkway, having transit-oriented development, and actually connecting UNLV's main campus to downtown, so we can actually not only have the medical school operating here, but also create future opportunities for additional growth. As UNLV is bursting at its seams, they can't stay at the main campus forever. They're going to have to expand elsewhere in the Las Vegas Valley. We want to welcome them to downtown, and we're having discussions about how can we increase their presence in downtown as well as the entire NSHE system. And then finally, commercial corridors, big box repurposing. The nature of retail has changed a lot. It continues to change. And as we have those big boxes that are vacant, everyone knows about them. Everyone has one not too far from their neighborhood. How can we repurpose those creatively for new uses, whether it be housing, whether it be last mile distribution, or whether it be other venues? We're working on a plan to repurpose those and create incentives to make sure we do that and do that well, and we're seen as a leader in that. So that wraps up my presentation for today. Again, I want to thank the entire city team, all of our private partners. Economic development is a team sport, and we really have a great team at the city, a great team in our department that works on these projects day after day. But we can't do this without our private partners, and we can't do this without your leadership and the vision that you set for our city. So I want to thank you for your time, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
It was outstanding, is what I can tell you, and it seems you've only touched the tip of the iceberg because we didn't hear about the Huntridge property. There was no bragging about the enchilada, the parks refurbishing and rehabs, more on Main Street as we've been doing the festoon lighting, and my favorite, free loop. We added another bus and more stops. I mean, there's just so much. This is so impressive, and to think of the year that we've been through where so many out of work and so many small businesses challenged and brought to their knees. It is simply, I hope you have a hard copy of that, Mr. Arndt, that you would share with each of us and get a hard copy to us. I'd appreciate it. I'm just so proud, and it's just such an example of what a great place Las Vegas is, and the results that come and the innovation. I do think of the International Innovation Center that we have that has really taken off. Just so much looking forward, and there's just not enough time in the day to keep up with all of the things. You and your department, absolutely outstanding, and certainly the leadership team here and everybody that works for any department. Outstanding. Everyone counts, everyone matters, but we are action and results oriented. And I thank the social services partners of ours who stay with us, Salvation Army and our wonderful Catholic charities, Share. There are just so many, and I know that we're just all excited and just don't need to sleep. Just keep it going. And I want to thank Mr. Browsteady. Hopefully you have a little taste of what we've been doing, and it is available for everyone to see. It was a good point you brought up in public speaking, because there's so much to brag about. And the U.S. Conference of Mayors looks at Las Vegas and can't believe what's occurred during this pandemic time. So congratulations to you. Congratulations, Mr. Cervantes. You've got a great team, and everybody that works here. Bless you all. Thank you. And I'm looking at the council, who are exhausted from all they've been doing. I can tell that are supportive and just say yay for Las Vegas. So I don't know if there are any pertinent comments, questions, or anything. This is a report only, and I know how proud we are. I mean, it just makes my heart just bigger and bigger and bigger till it explodes. So thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Cervantes and your team. Awesome. Can't wait for tomorrow. What are we going to be doing? So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.